Okay, YouTube, I was able to run this with the cover off. It's one of these pieces is a little bit loose without the cover, and so what happens is this switch here doesn't get depressed, so you kind of have to hold that switch down, which is the switch that the center metal piece pushes down when it's in place. So I was able to do that, and you can hear the arcing, but I tried at night and I didn't see any visible arcs even in the dark. But when I took everything apart, let me zoom in down here. These are the two contacts. Kind of hard to get the camera in there. You can see that one is very corroded. Right there where my thumb is, that is where there used to be a little metal contact. I think at some point in the past that plastic corner broke off, and looks like there has been some arcing. You can see that's discolored, a little bit yellow, and that aluminum is pretty chewed up. So what I think I might do is see if I can find a screw, metal screw, to go into that hole. So that's one idea I have, and then I'll try to clean that dirty contact up, see if I can polish those up a little bit. And then I think the other thing I'm going to try tomorrow is to take this and kind of wash it out with some soap and water. That seems to be the best thing to get the dust off of it. I don't see any signs of arcing, but I think that this power supply is totally potted, so it should be okay in the water. And then there's just the transformer in the bottom. So I think I can kind of hose out this bottom end, because all of this dust is here because it's been charged up to a high voltage, and then it sticks to the plastic. So it's very well stuck on. Get over in the light here. There's basically a transformer down there, and it looks like just a couple of wires running up, probably just power and a on-off switch, and then you've got this potted high voltage thing. There's a green ground wire, and then it's got a red and a black, probably high voltage. Maybe they're shorting in here too. These two wires are, if the insulation is a little compromised. Okay, YouTube, I managed to this thing cleaned out pretty good. Sprayed some cleaner on there and used a toothbrush under hot running water to get most of the dust off of there. I got the bottom pretty well cleaned out. Cleaned off these insulating pads. These seem to be, I guess they're a plastic. I think everything's a plastic in here. And then the one other thing I did, so zooming in on the wire here, you can see there's a little mark on this black, which is the ground wire. And before I moved it, it was sitting right there next to the red wire, and that little mark, it's like a little cut, is right next to the red wire. So I found this peg that's sitting here is like just the right place to hold this out of the way, and I'm wondering if that's actually what that's for. But you can see there's a definite mark in the insulation, so I'm wondering if that's where it was shorting. And then let me show you the one other thing I did here. Yeah, so the one other thing I tried to work on was I got these little contacts here cleaned off. I don't know if that shows up in the camera. I used a wire brush and a little scrubbing pad to get the oxides and dirt off of there. And then I rebuilt this. So what I did was I cleaned out the plastic a little bit and then ran a number 6 sheet metal screw into the holes that are in the extrusion, and then I kind of filed it flush so it sits at the same level as the other one. This screw goes into the aluminum, so it should be a good electrical contact. Well, I think we have success. I've been running on high power, which is apparently the highest voltage setting. It's been running now several hours, and I don't hear any snapping or popping, and it hasn't shut itself off, so I think just the cleaning inside and relocating that black wire. So yeah, it looks like this guy's going. So I guess they were made by Honeywell in the early to middle 2000s. I know I purchased these from Radio Shack, and this is the large Environizer, and then that's the small unit, which I probably need to take apart and clean as well, because I imagine it's got about the same level of dirt in there. Because I may try to pop open the top and see what sort of control circuitry is in here, because this one would be kind of nice to find a way to have it come on automatically. The little unit down here just has a switch. It's got off, high, and low. One option might be to take the top off of this one and put it over here, but at least I can see the difference between this simple on-off control and this fancy computerized time delay control. This one is nice. It has this timer, so you can start it on the timer and it'll run for 3, 6, or 10 hours, and then you hit the 3 low, medium, or high power levels, which actually do seem to do something. It uses more power, and the fan runs the same speed on all 3 settings, so I'm imagining it's the voltage on the corona wires that probably get changed there, but I think that is a success. But anyway, I thought I'd show you that little repair and my collection of small and large Environizers. Yeah, and just to follow up, I think these were both from Radio Shack, and the part numbers were 630 and then 0612, and I believe the small one was 0613. I might be mixing those two up. I don't remember which was which, but they were 2 consecutive part numbers. So that's how you can kind of rejuvenate one of these. They look like it's actually pretty high quality. Supposedly they were manufactured by Honeywell, and that high voltage supply is totally potted and looks to be a pretty robust unit. I mean, it's big. It's that whole base of the unit, as you saw when we had it open, is that high voltage supply, and then they have a real step-down transformer there for the power. So I guess they bring 120 volts in. They probably send some sort of voltage over to the power supply, and then send probably 12 volt AC or 6 volt AC up here. So I imagine there's a little DC power supply up in the top. But just a little bit of elbow grease with a toothbrush and some cleaner. Just use some spray-on 409 cleaner to break up the surface dust, and rinsed it off with hot water, and then let it dry a couple hours, and it's now working again. So anyway, if you have any questions about that repair, post that up in the comments section below, and as always, thanks for watching.